All right, ready when you are.
Okay, is everybody, let me see, we've got James and we've got Eric. And just about everybody else.
Scott, I'm muting everybody except you at the moment.
Okay, very good. You guys wait just 1 second. I'm trying to get the agenda. On my small phone. There it is. Okay, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. I've got about, looks like 8 items for the Finance Committee, and unless anybody else has got an issue, let's go in order. Has anybody got an issue with that?
Just me.
You have an issue with it?
Yeah. Let's skip over the health department stuff because we've got other people on the line for items, Scott, and I'm going to handle that.
Okay, so
Just skip to number 2.
let's go. Okay, let's go ahead and start number 2. Midland County Central Dispatch Authority.
Yeah.
Place a millage renewal proposal of 0.7.
Lisa, I have you unmuted if you want to make any comments.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Lisa.
So just a renewal that we're up for. I have not changed the mill. I did project it based on the county's recommendation just to stay flat for property taxes. So that's what I did. The only other notable piece in it is that in 2025, we will be finally out of our radio replacement lease. And so we can focus on hardware replacement only moving forward after that until the next piece. But the infrastructure should be just fine and in good shape by then. So that's good news.
Excellent. Just a question. So we approve, we're going to renew it. Did we use all of it last year?
Yeah, they levied the max 0.7.
Okay. Any other questions? Jim, Eric?
Jeanette.
Wait, oh, I forget. Wait, is Jeanette on?
She is.
Yes,
Oh,
it took
she's
me a
on
while to get approved, sorry.
My phone got, okay, Jeanette or Jim, do you have any other further questions?
Well, I haven't got an answer yet.
What was the question?
Does Jeanette feel that over the next 2 or 3 years, do we have to increase the millage?
If the question was posed to Lisa.
Or Lisa, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lisa has already gone through the exercise and discussed it with her board of doing different projections. And I think at this moment, based on her comments about not having the radio lease anymore, we should be good.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay.
Jeanette, any questions?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, let's move on to item number 2, and I need my glasses.
Item number 2 or 3?
It's actually item number 3. We're on number 2 though. Sorry, guys. I think the cat stole my glasses. No, I'm kidding. Oh, there they are. All righty, here we go. And this is Mosquito Control Director, also a millage, also a renewal of 0.5 mils. I don't know if, is Carl on the line or no?
I am here, yes.
Oh, Carl, welcome.
Thank you.
Any news to report?
We have done the millage up to 0.5 for the last 2 renewals. This would be the 3rd, so in 2012 and 2016. Have yet to levy that entire amount. Currently, we're at 0.42, which we have been since 2008, I believe. So usually get good support for the program, and so I'm not anticipating any changes for the upcoming renewal.
Okay. Jim, Jeanette, questions?
Yeah, that would be, that if we're up for 3-year renewal, is that it?
I believe it'd be 4 years. Usually it is.
These
Yeah.
are all 4-year renewals.
4 years.
Okay, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, all right.
Jeanette, any questions?
No, I read through it. I'm good.
Okay, I don't have any questions either. I appreciate it, Carl. I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you, Carl. I know it's a
Thank
busy
you all.
time. How's the spraying going?
We're doing okay. Fortunately, we'll see what this week brings with rain, but things are drying up, which is always good news, at least for the mosquito front. So we're doing okay. The crew's small, but they're making good progress with who we do have.
Fantastic.
Ariel went very well, and we were very pleased with the new contractor this year.
How about part-time hiring?
We can't bring anybody new on board currently because the state doesn't have it a way of us getting them to be a certified applicator. So
Oh.
we're holding off, and we've been in contact, but as of yet, there is no solution for that. And they know that they're going to get inundated because everybody in the state that's hiring and trying to get new employees is going to want to test. So we're planning for the crew that we have existing to be working for the foreseeable future. And we're going to be talking about how to shift things around and do the best with this small crew that we have.
Okay, if there's any concerns, you'll obviously let us know, right?
Obviously. Oh, certainly. Yeah. I mean, right now we're down in capacity, and we'll continue to be so, but we'll get as many trucks going. And so I'll be fogging in the evenings, and we'll keep the service going as best we can.
Fantastic. Okay, thanks, Carl. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on now on County Connection. Also renewal, and this is 0.25. And do we have,
Yep, Lynn is on the phone.
I'm
Scott.
here.
But I will tell you, this is the one exception. This millage is actually a 5-year renewal. I did that intentionally, change the dates because it's always, I don't know, one rotation, it got off and it was always the last. It always ended in an odd year instead of starting in an odd year. So I had Bill change the date. So it's actually 5 years, but it'll be on the same rotation cycle as all the other millages after this.
so why are we dealing with this millage now if all the other millages are coming up?
Because it's due for a
It's
renewal.
due.
But this is how the county connection millage has happened in the past. It actually expired in 2019. So so that means the money they collected on December 1 of 2019 is the only money they're going to get if the millage doesn't renew in 2020. Whereas Lisa's millage, 911's millage, doesn't expire until 2021 or 2020. So it expires
2020.
this year. So
Okay.
we renew this year, but she's already got a levy to collect for on December 1 of 2020 for 2021. You see what I'm saying? So Lynn's millage, if it doesn't pass, she's got no more chances at the apple, so to speak. And so that could really harm them financially. So adding this 1 year to make this a 1 5-year renewal term, and then next time it'll go back to 4, puts them on a regular cycle.
Okay,
Hopefully that made sense to everybody.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I meant to do it last,
great.
but I forgot.
Jim and or Jeanette?
I move for approval.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. And thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
I've got so many people here. I've only got 9 on one page, and there must be at least that many on the next page. Okay. Let us move on now to County Road Commission. And this is a renewal proposal of 1 mil. And as I understand, we actually have 2 millages, but this is an approval of one of those. Is that correct?
Right.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
We have one this year, and then 2 years from now, we'll have the other one up. So they're staggered.
Okay, great, Jonathan. Thanks. I don't have any questions. I think this is pretty straightforward. Jim or Jeanette?
I don't have any problems with it. We're in good standing, Jonathan. I mean,
Well, we're our regular Michigan transportation funds are in the decline right now because of the gas tax. Revenue is hit sharply. So we do have a lot of budget cuts that have to come up this year. Luckily for us, the millage helps us a lot because that's money that we can count on, and it's not tied to the gas tax. So yes, we do have some budget stuff that we have to worry about this year, but hopefully the millage goes through and we still have that money to count on.
Bridget, do we have any other accounts that would be affected by gas tax revenue?
Not that I'm aware of.
And Jonathan, what is the impact of that revenue? About how much?
Well, they haven't given us exact information on it because I think they're still collecting the data. What they're seeing though is between a 50 and a 60% reduction in vehicles or in the annuals in the miles being traveled right now. So
Okay.
Traffic's down about 50 to 60%. What they're anticipating the hit on the MTF funds for us would be approximately 5 to 10% per month reduction. So what that equates to us is if we're looking at about a 10% reduction for 3 months, that's about $400,000.
Wow. And what does that represent? What percentage of our total budget comes from tax revenue?
For the MTF, I don't have that. I don't have that exact number, but in comparison, the 1 mil just for the county would get about $1.6 million for us. So per year.
So we have the potential of losing upwards of $400,000 in a budget that's roughly 1.1 million. Is that what you're telling me?
No, that's different funding.
Oh, okay. I guess I want to know $400,000. What percent of the total budget is that?
I don't have that exact number.
Is it, 10%, 5%, 50%?
what was last year's budget?
Our overall budget last year was around around 15 million, but that's everything. That includes all of our expenses. That's not just projects, that's everything. The MTF funds, that goes to a lot of our operating budget, but the stuff for the millage is pretty much all just goes straight into our projects. That's the nice part about the millage is that it goes straight into the roads, straight into the bridges, straight into the stuff that the people see the difference. The townships, have a big say as to what that money gets used for. So
Yeah, and I'm actually asking a question beyond the millage here. I mean, I got no problem with the millage. I wonder if a loss of $400,000 represents a significant bite.
3%,
3%?
3% of his overall budget.
Okay,
It is a significant bite because a lot of our expenses are already set for the year. So that has to come pretty much out of our projects that we're using, our match funds for federal projects and our regular expenses such as our brush spray and our ditching projects that are done outside of the millage money, that those projects are on the cutting table for because of that. That portion of the projects that we do is only around 3 million. So you're talking of the actual projects, and taking $400,000 out of that is fairly significant for us.
yeah, okay.
But your plan, that's for how many months of this, when the virus is over, what happens? It comes, we assume that the road or gasoline sales should be up, at least as a.
Correct, but we really don't know what's going to
Yeah.
happen. Is traffic going to go back to the way it was? I doubt it. Is it going to go back to 80% of what it was? We don't really know. We didn't even know the 50 to 60% that reduction that we've had right now. We didn't even know what that was going to be until just recently. Everybody was kind of speculating, and people have been doing counts and finally gave us some of that information. And so that helped us, make a determination of approximately how much money we were looking at.
So just so I'm clear, our approach then is with that kind of a reduction, there are some things we won't do, correct?
Yes, there are things that we have to cut out of our budget for this year. One of them is a reduction in the brush spray program that we have. One of them is a little bit of a reduction in the materials usage that we use, specifically culverts that we normally purchase, and things like that.
Bridget, would you consider this an expense that should be included in terms of impacts to the county of coronavirus?
Well, I mean, overall, county agencies, yes. It's not something we could submit any sort of reimbursement for, but if someone were trying to tally, it would be a pretty Herculean task to do it all as one for the entire community. All the organizations would probably need to do that individually.
So each agency would have to do that?
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're keeping track of all of the reduction of expenses that we have and of the additional money that we have going out that isn't that we're not being reimbursed for, basically, that is specifically related to the lack of production.
Okay, great. Jim, Jeanette, further questions?
Not for me. I move for adoption.
Did you
But-
want
Jeanette?
to hear from,
I'm sorry?
did you want to hear from Josh at the city?
So I'll just
Josh,
chime in.
Yeah,
So I'm Josh Frederickson, city engineer for the city of Midland. We're fully supportive. I mean, this, as John stated, the road millage really is what's dedicated to our street projects. So we've got a large capital plan, all of our street projects. That's pretty much how we're able to fund those, is through the road millage. So we're supportive of them. We use it every year. It's a valuable asset in order to keep the transportation system up and running. As John stated, we're also getting impacted. Everybody is, with the reduced miles and the reduced funding for the Michigan, the gas tax. But on a project standpoint, because of the millage, we're able to keep those moving and improve our system. We're supportive of it, and we're grateful for the county support in this, in moving forward with being able to do road projects.
yeah. Let me ask the question this way, because it's a little different. If we find out that gas tax reduction is structural and it doesn't come back, should we be thinking about increasing that millage?
Hmm.
From a city perspective, I think that that would definitely be a point of discussion. Because that's really, I mean, from our perspective, that's really how we're able to fund our street projects. And so if we don't have that, then money's going to have to go towards the maintenance side, the snow plowing
Yeah.
and the pothole patching, and that pulls money away from street projects. And so really it comes down to, you know, a level of service of how much we want to be able to repair our roads. So if you are correct, if it is structural, I think that would at least be a point of discussion and say,
Yeah.
you know, are we at a level of service that we want? Where does that leave us? How much did we lose? And do we want to try and bring that back through a millage?
So sort of ironic that Governor Whitmer's 45 cents a gallon tax is probably lost in the shuffle right now. You could throw that right in there and not even feel it.
Yep.
My, has times changed.
Definitely have. So, but this one mill, you know, the renewal, I think John mentioned it up front, you know, every other year we have, you know, there's 2 mills out there, one this year and then again in 2 years. You know, and so depending on how things land and how much, you know, if people bounce back and start driving again or not, we may be having a different discussion in the future.
Fair enough. Okay. Jeanette, did you have any questions?
Well, I just wanted to remind you, there are 2 mills out there. Like they said, there's one now and one later. So the road commission is getting a total of 2 mills on your taxes. So, but of course, keep an eye on it to see. And then you might want to review their budget before you think of any additional millage increases, what I would
Yeah,
say.
sure. That's a good point. I mean, everything's open for discussion then. Okay, Jim, you did make a motion.
Yes,
to
I
approve.
did.
Jeanette?
Point of order.
I support.
Okay. It's moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Jonathan, and thank you, Joshua. I'm sorry I haven't met you, Joshua. I was wondering who you were.
It's all right. I'll have to stop by and meet this time.
Yeah, very good. Okay,
Thank you,
let
guys.
us. Yeah, thank you. Take care now. Let's move on now to item number 6 on the agenda. Finance Director requests approval of a budget calendar. And have we got Mike? There's Mike.
He is here.
So this is, I casually looked at the dates. I assume they don't present a problem to us or anything like that with the current situation?
It's the same schedule we normally follow, and we're
That's-
hopeful that we can maintain that.
That's helpful. Any questions on this, Jim or Jeanette?
Nope,
No,
it's pretty consistent with prior years.
Okay, fair enough. And I guess I asked, I do ask this each time, and we don't have to put it here, but the process of having a separate session in the Finance Committee open to all of the commissioners for review of budget once that gets proposed. We've done that for the last couple of years, Mike, and it's just a nice final forum to check in a Finance Committee as opposed to overall. So we'll get that into I'm assuming there's room in the agenda or in the calendar for that.
It's normally in October, so that would be.
Right. Fair enough. Okay. I forgot where I'm at. Have we voted on this one yet?
Nope.
Need a
Okay.
motion.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Thank you. Any further discussion? I don't see any. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 And opposed? Okay, motion passes. By the way, Kevin Beeson is on the line. I love his background picture. That is one heck of a picture. Is that the flood?
That's a
Kevin,
drone
you're gonna
shot.
have, Are we on to that? Yeah.
We're on a good.
No, we're not. We got one more item yet. Emergency Management Coordinator submits non-congregate shelter agreement with Sanford Campground. And Lisa, I know there's Lisa, or I'm sorry,
Jennifer.
Jennifer,
Hello, Jennifer. Can you unmute?
Where'd she go?
Jennifer.
Hold on,
Hello.
she's sort of frozen. Hang on.
I froze up.
Ah,
We can see her now.
And my screen flashed and I'm back. So sorry.
You're breaking up a little bit, but
yeah. Okay. You're going to have to explain to me what non-congregate means.
So non-congregate means that usually when we have a shelter, we have a large open room that has multiple people in it. Because of COVID-19, we're not looking at putting a large number of people together. We're looking at putting individuals in separate rooms. So that's what non-congregate means. They're not congregating.
Got it. I assumed that was it, but just wanted to confirm. And so this is going to be at the campground. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So tents?
Nope, they actually have small cabins out there. There's 6 small cabins,
Oh,
basically like a small hotel room with a suite. They have a bedroom, a small bathroom, and then they have like a very small kitchenette and then a seating area. So the main goals of identifying a facility is for someone to have their own room and bathroom, because we don't want to share these facilities with others. So
right.
their facility met this need.
And who absorbs the cost?
At this time, the county absorbs the cost. However, as you can see in the attachments, I have gotten
Right.
approval from FEMA, as this is considered a eligible expense.
Okay.
Most of the costs are in kind from local agencies with food. We got donations of linens and towels and pillows and everything we needed to just provide basic needs for these individuals. All that came together with local agencies. We also have $10,000 sitting aside at the Midland Area Community Foundation in a form of a grant in the event that we need to implement this, and they can help with some of the funding.
Got it.
I found it a little strange. You got 6 rooms, but I thought there was like 19 people.
No. I don't know where the number 19 came from. We have 6 rooms. We can have up to 6 people at a time. The budget I put together reflects 30 days at a time. So the budget reflects of length of stays for sheltering, because it depends on the individual. If they're just exposed and they only have to do the 14 and they don't become symptomatic, or if they have been exposed and then they become symptomatic, so then they have a longer stay. So all those numbers are variable based on individual needs here.
Well, in the second paragraph, it says, to date, there are 50 confirmed COVID-19 cases resulting in 3 deaths.
that's just the number that we've had across the community, Jim. We don't have anybody yet that's considered homeless that would need to have some place to go.
Ah, okay. Very good.
And so you feel comfortable with the 6 units being enough at this point in time?
It's all we have at this point in time.
Yeah, okay. It is what it is, right? Okay. Jeanette, do you have any questions?
Mr. Chairman?
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hold on. Hold on. Can I
I'm
just
sorry, if Jeanette has a question, I'll defer until she's finished.
Yeah.
No? I have a few, if I may, and Bridget answered one. I was interested if there were any current homeless in need of shelter, and I assume that answer was no.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so And I saw in there in the budgeting that, okay, if there is need for oversight, there will be a sheriff's deputy there. Is that the plan?
So the deputy portion is security. So in the event that we run into a situation where one of these folks do not want to follow the rules, they won't stay at the campground, they become a problem for our community, then if need be, we will provide sheriff deputies as security, sure they are following the rules. The last
Okay.
thing we want to take a person is the jail. So
How will we know that they're not following the rules?
So at the facility, there'll be someone on staff 24/7 just to kind of keep an eye on things because it is their
Okay.
facility. So they would be reporting us if they run into any issues. Also, being that all of these people will be monitored by the health department, they'll be calling them every day. So we do have a little bit of oversight as far as watching their actions and different things. But hopefully we don't run into this. Again, this is kind of a worst case scenario of plan and trying to get as many of the expenses that we could possibly forecast to kind of together into a document to submit.
Yeah, I could just imagine that homeless might be a difficult situation. So
In talking with Midland Open Door, they average on the night, I believe around 24 to 26 people between both their female and male homes. So that's probably more of the population that we would be dealing with those clients because they just are not set up structurally to be able to isolate and quarantine within their facilities because they have so many people sharing a room and a bathroom, those types of things.
yes,
The additional population that we have, we know there's more homeless individuals in the community that don't go to Midland Open Door because they don't like the rules. So it's going to be a case by case situation, but most likely those that aren't part of the program probably will be a lot harder for us to even be aware of. And Midland Health Department would even be aware that we need to be tracking them. So again,
Yeah.
it's case by case. We've got rules set aside with the campgrounds and that kind of stuff for the guests and put information kind of packets together for them on who to contact and that kind of stuff. So again, we're hoping if we run in this situation, have to implement, and the individuals will understand these are their responsibilities and how they are to behave. And then as we need to adjust, we will adjust for that.
okay. One last question then. Item number 27.16, governing laws and venue, it cites the District Court of Jackson County, Missouri in the state of Missouri. Is that intentional or is that, do you have any concern with that? If there are any disputes related to the lease is what that's about.
I didn't miss it. I believe that might be the headquarters for the church association. It's actually a church campground. So I believe that might be their headquarters. And Bill didn't bring that up either, so.
And neither did our liability insurance carrier, Steve.
Okay,
So
all right.
it was
And I, yeah,
reviewed by
okay.
them too.
All right,
Yeah.
thank
So
you. That's all that I have, Scott. Thank you so much for answering.
Else?
I'm sorry, will you clarify? I thought we were talking about the fairgrounds. Are we talking about somewhere
No.
else?
Yeah, it's in Sanford.
Stanford
No,
Campground.
It's a church campground.
In Sanford, the one
Correct.
that we light the fireworks off from?
no, this is it used to be New Hope Village. Right?
Oh, right.
Oh, so that's Hope. That's on the corner of 30 and Baker.
No, Jeanette is right. I believe this is where the fireworks are launched from, because when I was out visiting the facility, he was talking about the fireworks and stuff that go on there during the
Okay.
summer.
Okay, that's my
Okay.
mistake. I had a different visual.
This is on West River Road, just north
Okay.
of Black Creek, I believe it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The-
it's a Community of Christ campground. So
yes.
we are still planning to set our fireworks off. I'm in charge of those. As of right now, we're working with Wolverine and setting them off. So should we have, will that interfere with any of that?
So if the campground, as long as the campground is not able to have activities based on executive orders, then the county will be looking to utilize it for this.
Okay, because they are looking to be open July 1st.
Okay.
And we are looking to set off the fireworks whether they're open or not, because there'll be boats over the water, and there's a way to view the fireworks without being on the physical campground. So as long as we just sent out a $1,500 check to secure the fireworks. So I just don't know. I just wanted to make sure all of that is good to go together.
And there is a date in the agreement. I believe it's only like 30 days or till the end of May. And then we would have to revisit extending that agreement. With this, we needed to go beyond that for this particular reason.
Okay.
And we
So
know
I'm
this.
good to, if we revisit it, if it goes beyond May, then I'm good with that. If it just goes until the end of May.
I thought it went by a 30-day period.
It does.
A decision is made every 30 days, if I remember correctly.
I'm confused. Which decision are you talking about, Jim?
The decision of whether they're going to utilize the facility. I know it starts on May 15th. And then it goes to 45 days the first time, but then it said in there that it would be changed on a 30-day basis.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah. The period of the lease, it, as cited, it does end on the 31st of May.
Yes.
There were a lot of other terms in the boilerplate section that I think would apply to a longer lease, Jim, that I think that's
Yes.
what you're referring to.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, one last time, Jim or Jeanette, any further questions?
Jen has-
No, I recommend adoption.
I also just wanted to add to that our FEMA pre-approval is only good for 30 days too. So when we get farther along the period, I'll have to go back and ask for an extension on our FEMA pre-approval for every 30 days at a time as well.
Okay,
Thanks for
Jeanette?
clarifying the location too, because in my mind, you know how you get a visual in your head, and that's what I kept thinking every time you brought this up, Jen, that's where it was at. So thanks for the clarification.
Jeanette, do you support?
Yeah, I support. It's still a little foggy how all that's gonna work out, but as long as it doesn't, disrupt our plans. We've been doing this for over 10 years. So I just want to make sure that this is the best place to have it.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Jen. Hey, just a quick question. It's a question I try to get from Fred all the time. I think it's at 58-3 right now in terms of patients and deaths. How many recoveries do we have?
Oh, this morning, he did share that this morning with one of our meetings. Let me flip to the page real quick.
Didn't you say about 25?
I think it's at 26.
Okay.
Okay. I've encouraged them to publish that, and anytime you talk about it.
Well, the
because
state is providing guidance on that. That's the problem, is the state is determining what is going to be provided, even at the local level.
What do you mean, what is going to be provided?
Well, they still have to define what is considered recovery. Does that mean?
I get that, but once you've defined it, we should publicize it.
I don't believe
They
they
keep changing it.
What's that?
They
This
keep
may
changing
be
it.
off base a little bit, but I think the governor should delegate to the counties there's 4 or 5 counties in the Upper Peninsula that don't have one person. They're the square miles of land in the Upper Peninsula is 75% of the Lower Peninsula, and their average population per square mile is 6 people. Oakland County is 5,000 people per square mile. It's a big,
Got it.
it's a big difference. And taking care of those counties should be delegated to them, my position.
All right, I would like to move on. Last item, item number 8, Kevin is with us. This is the parking lot resurfacing agreement. Kevin, welcome.
Thank you, sir. The request that comes to you now is one that we've worked on for at least a year, maybe more than that. Started at the beginning of the bridge construction project. As you recall, the state needed a haul route out of there to remove the demolition from the what is it, eastbound lane, I guess. So we agreed as a county. I mean, this has been before A&O and I believe finance at the same time, at least a couple of times. The only thing we couldn't decide was how much damage was actually done and how we would go about being reimbursed for it. This contract finalizes all that. If you look at the documents that were presented, there's a graph that shows the amount of the property that is being replaced, repaired through the MDOT contract as part of their agreement that we all signed 6 months ago to allow them to use that lot to get out of. And then we looked at it and said, boy, we've got the majority of that torn up. It would be kind of painful to just go back and repave parts of that parking lot and leave the rest of it set like nothing had ever happened with the courthouse addition. So we hired OHM advisors to represent us in the discussion. They're a mechanical, or not mechanical, but an engineering firm that works regularly in the city, just down the street. We met several times with MDOT out of Mount Pleasant, their engineers all the way up the chain, come back. And this is really a win-win for everybody. If you look at the contract, MDOT is going to pay for pretty close to 50% of the complete parking lot, when in fact they used about 50% to use that haul out to get out of there. What it does for us as a county is if we invest this just about $126,000, we get a $250,000 parking lot that's brand new as of 2020. That was redone well over 20 years ago. It had seen its better days before MDOT approached us. Their heavy trucks and cranes just finished it off. But this is a win-win for the taxpayers. We get a new, fresh look. We change the orientation of the lot somewhat so that it doesn't look like 2 separate parking lots. And that all happened years ago because we bought additional parking that we needed. But rather than redo the first part, we just added it on, and it was always disjointed and never made sense. When you look at this sketch that is also included in your packet, you'll see it's pretty harmonious and kind of an L shape. It's also very much more visually appealing coming across that new M20 bridge that's down lower and lets you actually see the courthouse through the guardrail rather than looking at the concrete barricades that used to be along the side of the old Robinson Bridge. So I think it's a win for everybody downtown. It's certainly good for us. It removes a lot of the barricades to plowing and maintaining. It's much more visually appealing. And because it's not changing elevation, it's essentially makeup on top of the ground. We're not changing any of the structure underneath the pavement. We're actually covering a little less asphalt than there used to be down there in the floodplain. And if you look over my shoulder, you'll see what happens to a floodplain with a flood. That really wasn't intentional, but that's a view that you can't ever forget what's going on down there and how difficult it is to do anything very much in that floodplain. But this works out for everybody. MDOT is happy. They have presented an agreement where they will be the contracting agency through Milbacher, who had the bridge. It's all good with them. Their attorneys have reviewed it. I sent it up the chain of command here a week ago as a draft, and then we got the final copy back. Everybody here sees that it's functionally going to do what we want. And the reason I'm asking you to act as quick as we can is since the COVID crisis that we all talk about has happened, it just so happens that as soon as the governor releases this stuff, this is a project Milbacher would like to get knocked out and get closed out and put behind them so that they can go on and begin much bigger projects once this release starts. So it really is important to us that we can get this before the board for an affirmative vote on Tuesday so that hopefully within just a matter of days, they can commit and actually do this work and we can be cleaned up and good.
How long do you think it'll take, Kevin?
Probably a couple of weeks. I'm not even sure it'll take all of that. They'll come with the equipment, they'll mill it out. We're going to replace a fair amount of concrete curb. But again, weather depending, that'll go down in just a day or two. There's not much to it. They'll come back in and repave it. We'll be closed off to the public for, I'm sure, less than a week overall. But it'll probably be a 2-week start to finish project.
Very good. Any questions?
Yes,
Jim?
Scott, how many, is there any addition or deduction in the amount of cars to be parked?
Yeah, when we sold, remember, some right-of-way or easement property under the bridge that they needed because of the design. So we lost about 20 spaces at that time. This May, I'd have to go back and look, but Jim, we didn't lose more than maybe another 5 altogether just in the reconfiguration.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty of that is that, at the time we added all that lot, we had a lot of bodies in the courthouse. Once we went through that remodel, more efficiently used the space, moved the friend of the court, circuit probation, and prosecutor upstairs in the county building, a lot of that demand for daily parking disappeared. So we have a lot more flexibility. We'll have plenty of parking down there for any event that will happen in the courthouse. And really those big events are jury days when you're packing juries in the house for an occasional circuit trial.
Cool. Thank you.
Very good. Jeanette, any further questions?
No, sir.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes, and I have come to the end of my agenda. I would entertain a motion for.
We have to go back and do Fred, the health
Oh,
department.
oh, that's right. We skipped.
Yeah.
All right. Item number 1, Health Director submits amendment number 3 to the comprehensive agreement. And you're going to represent this, Bridget?
Yeah, we are going to get an extra $125,000 from the state of Michigan, which is a good thing, right?
Yep.
All mainly for COVID response. So if you, most of the time, I mean, we regularly have amendments throughout the year to the health department CPBC grant. And this is a rather large amendment for one program, but obviously given our current situation, it's understandable. So, and I don't think it's the last money that we're going to see. So.
Beautiful. Jim, Jeanette?
I'm all for it.
I did read through this, and this is 100% grant money, right, Bridget?
Right. Yes. Yep.
That's what I thought it said. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 That passes. Now I believe we're at the end of the agenda.
I move
And
for adjournment.
move for adjournment. I don't think it requires support, so let's call this meeting over. And it's about 20 after. Are we gonna just join up again at 2:30 then?
Right. Yep.
Okay, thank you
we're gonna
all.
close out.
And
Nobody has to go to the medical room.
Okay.
The
Okay,
dentist.
we'll